It's Real Fit Radio with B
and J.LOU.
If this is your first time listening, welcome. And if you're a returning listener, welcome back.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Choose your battles carefully. You can't enjoy victory when you're taking on every challenger that comes. That was me again.
Oh, you did something you did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You can choose your battles, huh?
Yep. I've heard that statement many a times. That was just my way of saying it, but people that came before me have already made that clear in their own way.
You just want to reiterate it or just kind of bring it to our remembrance sometimes, just like refresh your course?
Yes. It's cool to hear new stuff, but sometimes you do need to draw back on what was already said or done.
Like good old soul food.
Yep. Never get old.
Mm-hmm. I like it. Well, we have one more day until 2021. Are you ready?
The following day, I'm still the same person, so I'm never too amped about going into the new year with resolutions and all that stuff. Yeah, you grow, but I was ready yesterday. My work ethic ain't gonna change from me going into a new year from the previous year unless it's getting better.
Right. Well, I'm ready. And I say ready meaning it's not so much for me as resolutions, but just short-term, long-term goals, some things I'd like to have done by a set time, refreshing to start a new calendar, things like that. I'm looking forward to. It's out with the old and in with the new. It's like you're starting over. You do want to do better than you were yesterday. So the goal is to always do better. But I think just going into 2021, it's still like, okay, it's a new year. Everything resets. Your taxes. The calendar, people's birthdays happen, all kind of stuff. It's happening all over again. We're done. Now I got a birthday coming up again. You got a birthday coming up again. So I just try to have an optimistic outlook on everything. And I want to kind of like get excited and have some joy about it because there's been so many crazy things. If you watch the news and all that they just overwhelm you with so much stuff. So I'm excited.
Well, when you put it like that, then, well, damn, yeah, I'm ready for the year to be over with. I mean, when you put it in them words, fuck what I just said right now. It's like, it sounds like I'm sounding like Eeyore or some shit. Oh, it's me. I'm just going to be the same person I was last year. I don't know what the fuss is about. The new year and things are changing. The number just changed. Like, no, that's not what I was focused on when I said it, but putting that perspective on it, then yeah, I'm ready for it to be over.
Okay. Well, we're going to do what we came to do. Jump into the meat and potatoes of this podcast. Being a parent is crazy. I was thinking about this the other day, and I think being an involved parent, because there are people that have children that aren't involved. It's kind of like I give you what you need to sustain. Your life is your life. My life is my life. Figure it out. Roof over your head, finances, food in your belly. Go. I'm not trying to get involved with every single thing you want to do, or I don't want to hear what you're thinking about all the time. I got my own life. Not to say shame on them, but it's a different kind of flow because I've met parents that have completely, I don't want to say separate lives, but it's kind of like other than school and what they have to do, they're trying to not take on too much because it's like, I still got to take care of me. And I saw that more so single parenting. But yeah, we've heard it in the song that people from all over probably know. The hook saying parents just don't understand. But I'm like, parents, kids just don't understand. They really don't. I think that there's so many aspects of parenting that kids will never understand. I don't care how old they get until they have children. And even then, they still may not understand it because they may choose to parent differently than you did. So it's a job that goes on forever. And I just wanted to talk about a couple of aspects. And we have a unique parenting style. But I had a couple of things I wanted to touch on: single parenting, step parenting, and the way a mother parents versus a father. So we could tackle all those. I'm going to throw it over your way. I just wanted to roll into the different things I wanted to tackle. But the first one, just parenting overall. But for those of you, not that we've ever done it, I don't believe in step parent. I believe that anybody that takes on the role of a parent full time, you are a parent. You are not step. You are a parent if you're in the house with kids. They live with you. And that's just my take on it. But I remarried. So Josiah and Jair came with me into my new marriage with Lou. And I often laugh with him sometimes because we have a dog that we have together, which you've heard in the background before in other podcasts, Houston. We got him when he was a baby. So he's kind of grown with us and he's spoiled. But some stuff I just laugh because Josiah and Jair were like 7 and 8. Yeah.
No.
What were they?
13 and 11.
Yeah, I don't know why. The time goes so fast. That's why I said another
year.
year.
No, I've been out here 8 years. That's what you confusing it with.
Right.
But no, it was 13 and 11.
Right. So now they're 21 and 19. So sometimes I look at Lou and start laughing because I'm like, this parenting shit. Man, and I'm talking to him almost like he's not a part of the equation. I'm not excluding him. It's just like I've been fucking doing this for a long time because I was a single parent before I remarried. Gosh, for a long time. I separated from my first marriage. That was dissolved when they were probably 6 and 4. They were young, so they've been with me all the time fully. So sometimes I look at him and you're such a good sport about it. Cause like this parenting shit, it's like, ooh, they really stretch you, man. This ain't right. And you have so many highs and lows of parenting, but he comes in on a whole different angle because I will say this. I have a special place in my heart for people that are step parents that come in because I never felt I was equipped to do that. Once I divorced and pretty much understood it's going to be us. If he chooses to assist in the capacity or lend his time or finances, fine. But I just pretty much have made it up in my mind. I'm not dependent on it. And because I knew all that I wanted to give, I always felt like if I were to ever get involved with someone else that had children, I just felt like it wouldn't work because no matter what happened, I would always feel like he needed to put them first, which meant we would be second. And there was no, I want you to choose, none of that. And even the mother, whatever it was, you're not going to talk about her to me or any of that because at one point you guys cared enough for each other or something was working because you guys had children together. So you're not going to talk about her bad to me and you're going to show up to your children or your kids' game. And so how is that going to work? Well, I'm in the house telling him he needs to handle his business with his kids or child and you better answer her calls. We definitely would be second. So that's just how I saw it. And so I just made up in my mind like, yeah, no. Because people say sometimes, well, you have to be open now because you have children. And I was like, nope. I just made up in my mind like, nope, I'm not looking. It's just us. And I mean, this is a part of parenting. So lo and behold, God is funny. I end up being with someone that doesn't have any children. And so it's so funny to me sometimes because when I'm talking to him, like, oh, if I'm fussing, or we have these conversations, I already was parenting before him, so I had some years on him. Also, just how he looks at stuff. I mean, he has the capacity sometimes to laugh and be like, man. And I'm like, that's not funny. Like, I'm ready to blow a gasket. So I'm just going to turn it over to you. Like, what are your thoughts or, how has parenting and being a step parent, what are those things that like tidbits that you might give another person that's in a situation? Or did some things change for you? Like it changed for me. Like, wow. The very thing that I said I couldn't do, you did. Because I was like, I could not do that. So, yeah.
Yeah, this by far has been the most intriguing and interesting experience known to man. One thing I can tell a step parent or biological parents alike, what I learned is there is no blueprint to this shit whatsoever. If you thought it was a special way to rear your kids, I'm here to tell you you are absolutely fucking wrong. Because every child demands a different type of love, a different type of attention, needs, scolding, whatever. So once I decided to date B and I knew that it wasn't just gonna be her, I'm not the type of guy to come in a relationship and be like, oh, you got kids? Well, man, fuck them kids. I'm only here for you. No, I knew.
Or you'll tolerate.
Yeah. I didn't believe in just tolerating kids. I knew if I made that decision, especially at the age that I was at that point, it's like I'm dating to marry, so I know this is a package deal. Yeah, so it's so funny because I'm sorry, people, because this is funny to me because she's taking me back down memory lane in a sense. It's so amazing to see the growth and the different type of what's the word I want to use? Different type of how we interact with one another. Like I remember when I first came here, like I couldn't keep them out my face. I'm playing hide and seek and shit in the dark. With dark clothes on,
like we knocking on the door like you want to come out and play.
Yeah, and they like, you go ask them. No, you go ask them. So I was trying to find a way to integrate myself with them to where it's like, hey, look, I'm a cool guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna force myself on you, but at the same time, I'm here if you need me or whatever. So it started out with playing video games. I remember I made this bet with Josiah, telling him he couldn't beat a game or something. I'd give him $100 if he beat it in a week. He ended up doing it, by the way. So, and it went from that to playing hide and seek. B was at the time working overnight. She had no idea what was going on. We playing truth or dare with like, you can't eat this jelly sandwich without no peanut butter. Or I hit my head on a wall because I tried to do some more acrobatic shit trying to run from them, and they probably had a concussion, all kinds of stuff. But I'm saying that to say that was the type of camaraderie and relationship I was trying to attempt to build because I believed in family. I didn't believe in like separation of anybody. Once I took on a monogamous relationship, I said I'm taking on a relationship with them as well as if they were my own. I never looked at them as stepkids whatsoever. You know, whatever they needed from me or whatever type of support, I tried to lend it as much as possible. The interesting thing is it's a boy and a girl, so you learning all these things, like all the stuff that you talk about as a father when you guys get the baby. Like it does change your perception on women. I had these thoughts in my head like, damn, I was doing some messed up shit, because you seeing this little girl that's growing up in middle school and now she's starting to like boys and all that stuff, and you watching that grow. Obviously most fathers, they have their kid from the baby and they get to watch them grow. I started at the age where they were already in middle school. So right. I'm seeing that transition from, oh, we playing hide and go seek, to I'm interested in the opposite sex.
Right.
So watching these little boys in my mind is like, oh yeah, you got to watch these dudes. And I'm thinking like, when did I start thinking like this? And then Josiah being a young man and growing up, trying to show him how to navigate treating girls the right way and not undermining himself in the meantime. Hey man, worry about going to get your money as opposed to chasing girls. That's what I did. Like I'm having all these conversations that I never thought I'd be having. It grew me in ways that I probably wouldn't have been grown had I did it another way. Like even if I got married and had kids on my own, I think it still would have been different. I can talk for days on that, and I don't want to stretch it too much. It's just that transitional stage, like to watch them from that point where I met them to see them now, like they both driving and shit.
Yeah,
you know, they're both in their respective crafts, and yeah.
Well, even to take it into, and when I was saying this to Rich,
and taking all your characteristics while they're watching you.
Yeah, but even everything that you said, and that's why I just emphasizing parent, kids just don't understand. All the things that you touched on, you were giving of yourself, trying to assist them to be the best. Don't get caught up in this. Don't get caught up in that. Oh, yeah. I'm going to jump and knock my head up against the door, and we'll play truth or dare or double dare. I'll play video games with you, whatever it is, because you're trying to establish a relationship and you want them to feel comfortable. All that you do. That's why it's so funny with us. It's just like you're doing it out of love, out of hopes that you will equip them to have the support and security and the love that they need to flourish.
Give them what you didn't have in certain instances.
Right. And to flourish into these people that can stand on their own and explore on their own and do whatever it is they're passionate about. Hopefully have relationships of their own. That's all a parent is constantly focused on. And in that, And I know that it's not the other way. Sometimes you have these moments where you're like, I'm so fucking caught up in what you got going on. And it's not for them to do it for you. You just have these moments where you're just like, oh my goodness, especially when they do crazy stuff or stuff that when they know better, or you just have these aha moments like, I know you didn't do ABC. You know better. And you have to go through these, whether it's discipline or the long dreaded talk that they don't want to hear. They look so uninterested, but it's like, you did some stupid shit. That's why we having this talk. If you would have just did what we told you to do, and it's just those things where it's just like, they'll never understand. They'll never get what you
and what
give.
Your methods are.
Why you do
what you do.
And it's not because you want to be the fun police. It's because you genuinely are trying to give them cheat sheets sometimes. Don't go that way. Don't do it. Because if you get into it, I'm going with you too. It's a package deal. Even though I know this was some bullshit, I'm still going to have your back and try to navigate you back. I back that car up. You can come out. It's just different things. And when they say that pain is beauty, I think that I've heard Jar say that like beauty is pain, talking about plucking your lashes and stuff like that. The love through parenting, the type of connection and commitment, it's just like, it's ever evolving. And just when you think you want to just kill, like, I just want to wring your neck, there's this love that you have with them too. I think love is just not even a word for it because it's crazy. Just the other day when I was telling you, I'm so irritated because I want to be so petty. Kids will take you there. They'll do some stuff and you're trying to explain to them what they've done and it's wrong. And they're looking at you like, what? And then sometimes those beautiful opportunities to do the very thing to them that they did to you, I call them teachable moments. But the integrity that you have as a person, your morals and your character, it just bugs me to even be that way because it's like, I'm not even that kind of person, but I just want to charge you up so much right now. And then you find yourself having these rants telling them how you could have charged them up, but you didn't. And they still looking at you like, so we still want to eat? Like, I hear what you're saying, but okay. It's not connecting. It's like a disconnect. They're not getting it. No matter how many times they tell you, I know I messed up, or I know I need to do better, or I understand. They can't even begin to understand just what you were talking about and you going through the different things when you first came and even the things you'll do now. Your kids, when you love them, they can be the biggest jerks and come in crying or frustrated and you'll want to help. It's like, what's going on? Are you okay? Everything goes out the window. It has nothing to do with they pissed you off. You immediately assume this position of parent, of mother,
it's an unconditional love.
Yeah,
that you rarely find, but it's an unconditional love. Kind of only a parent can give, and you hope that when they get married, that they spouse love them the same way.
Man, it's crazy when people say it's rewarding. It's not even about the rewarding part of it. You can't say it's rewarding because the reward is seeing them happy. You just want to see them happy. I've heard people when I was younger, it was scary. Through some other single parents, I can't wait till they get big and get themselves together so they can take care of me like I took care of them. No. No.
The plan.
That's not why I had children. The children came out of love and things didn't work out between their dad, and God saw fit. We are blessed with a father, a husband, and you never stop giving. You just never stop.
Even when you want to.
Oh my God. But they have the option to.
Yeah.
That's the part where I'm like, you really just, that's why I said parents, kids just don't understand. They will look you in your face and just have asked you, have exhausted every resource you have. Have picked your brain, talked to you about something till you blue in the face because you just like, why are we still talking about this? But you trying to help them. And you could come in and ask them something simple to do. Like, hey, could you make sure you take your trash out in your room? It's kind of smelling, when you leave. Oh, I'll get to it. And they just won't do it. And in your mind, you think, if I would have done that to you when you asked me to do A, B, C, D, you couldn't take it. When you wanted to learn to drive, if I had such lackluster effort or lack of commitment, are you like, I can't get you to just follow through with, could you vacuum the floor consistently? And I'm talking about when they were even younger, when you do the chores, you were paying them.
Oh Oh man, oh yeah.
He was paying them
I came up with
to do
this.
chores, and they didn't even want the money. They just wouldn't do it.
That was crazy. I was like, look.
And that goes to our other thing, the mom's approach versus the dad's approach, because I'm not giving any money.
Well, the thing was,
you like, let me give some incentive.
well, it's not only that. I was trying to look at it in terms of work. People get paid for work, and I get it. This is what you're supposed to do. I don't need to pay you a goddamn thing.
That's how I felt.
I get it. I understand. So in my mind, I was like, okay, cool. Well, look, if you guys clean in common areas, make sure your rooms is clean, you do it every day consistently for 7 days. I know it sounds crazy to y'all, but I'm gonna give you $1. You do it again consistently, the next week I give you $2, and it maxed all the way out to 7, where I'll continue to just give 7 weeks. You got to remember, they was kids at the time, so you didn't need a whole bunch of money to do what you wanted to do as no middle schooler. And
they didn't want it.
Yeah,
they didn't want
they
it.
even start out, and that shit was like fresh to them. Like, I got $1, I got $1. I got $1. Hey. And shit, by week 3,
done.
They was like, fuck that trash.
Yeah, and even if you were like, if you don't do it, you won't get there. They were looking at you like, yeah, we know. And so you have to come up with these creative ways to assist them with building a very strong work ethic, because a strong work ethic will take you a long way. Sometimes you can come in and be the most talented person in the room, but somebody can outwork you. Committed parents are really trying to instill these types of values and understanding. Like, if you were equipped with this stuff and you take it with you, you'll do well. And it's like, fuck that. I don't feel like doing that. I'm playing a video game. Get off my back, man. So you're just like, oh my goodness. And it's always you're going from one thing to another. Whether it was the small stuff, make your bed, take the trash out, make sure you're walking with your sister. Then it was stop doing stuff and your sister imitates you. Don't give girls this much time. You just constantly. And then the next step is they'll be in a relationship and you're going to get that call, mom. And it's like, put the parent hat on. And it's like, didn't I tell you that this was going to happen? Didn't I tell you before you even start dating that you need to get yourself together in this area because you're selfish and that you're not considerate? And it's like, yeah, but they really look or sound so helpless. And it's up to you at that point. And it's like second nature to me. And I'm still,
you either walk away or continue to stay in the fight. And I'll be the one, like, it'd be days where I'll look at B and be like, hey, you wild as fuck. You still in there trying to fight? She be like, I know, but I can't stop, Lou. I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna go have this drink and I'm gonna be outside because I'm not doing that. But then there'll be some flip side to that where I'll be the one in there fuming and she'll be in there, Lou.
I'm like, just walk
welcome
away.
To the party.
Yeah, you said welcome to the party. I say walk away.
Walk away. And the thing is, too, I've grown a lot with my temper and my response is like,
because you're like, are you crazy?
Look, me and the girl.
Well, that's so funny. Yeah, they can go back.
But I'm saying, but the thing, that's why I said it's different for both, because as they got older, every man understands testosterone levels of their growing son, so they can relate to that. It's been times where I've been like, oh, you a little arrogant motherfucker. You know, you get into these tips and whatnot, and it's not in the sense of you're trying to destroy one another. Y'all got to remember, I was still young at the time, too, trying to figure this out.
Coming in without a handbook.
No handbook, no watching them grow up when they was babies. I got them at 13. So it's just like, all right, let me figure this shit out, how I'm going to handle it. And then he got bigger than me. So It's just like, how do you handle a growing young man? So I was like, okay, let me try to find different ways to talk. And it's always these strategic ways on how to communicate, because what I can say to Jay, I can't say to Jair, and vice versa, because they have their own minds, and if I say it to them the wrong way, it'll just go completely left. So continuing to work this Rubik's Cube to try to figure it out, and every time you think you got it figured out, you don't. Because it's something else that happens. They'd be like, wait, I thought we fixed that. Oh, no, we fixed this piece, but you still hanging on to that over there. And it's like, dude, this shit is crazy. And B knows what drives me up the wall. It's not about making mistakes. It's about making the same mistakes. And we coach different. B is the type of coach, if y'all think about sports, and y'all know I love these analogies, she's the type that'll keep coaching over and over and over and over and over again. I'm that coach, and I'm sure some of y'all can relate if y'all do watch sports. Look, You say you a superstar, I'm gonna hold you to a superstar standard. I ain't gotta keep telling you what the hell to do. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna sit your ass on this bench over here. In terms of real life, when we say sit on a bench, it's certain things I make you learn on your own. Right. I don't even lend myself to it anymore. It's like, that's my way of putting you on a bench. Like, you can't access my mind right now. And I know it sounds petty, but that's how I was doing it. And I'm still changing some of those methods. I'll still come back in now a lot sooner than I did before.
Because of me having them from little, I'm like, oh, no. I've been there before. That right there, leave that alone. That'll work itself out. And it's new to you because you hadn't seen that. But sometimes, even now, things are constantly ever changing, but still working that same gig. But it might be something different mixed with something that we've had to handle before. But the one that gets me is when it's like, you just gonna have to let this one just play out. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can really say. You've already equipped them as best you can. They know. Or when your kid looks at you and says, I know what I need to do. I just don't want to do it. It's like, what? And make no mistake, as I rant and rave, we've been told by many we have great kids. That's the crazy part too. They are great. Oh my, I mean, I couldn't make this up if I wanted to. And it's a blessing. But he used to think, when I say they just at the schools, wow, these kids are amazing. It was almost bad. Because
like, every time I looked up, they gonna be great.
They're amazing.
They gonna be something else when they get to their adulthood.
Yeah, they're amazing. And we never had any disciplinary problems with them. Mm-hmm. Never. Nothing at school. No issues like that. But when people are telling children how well they are, how ahead they are, how academically, you can tutor because you already know, and then you come home under the tutelage, the parenting tutelage, that don't mean anything to me because that was the goal, to get you to be self-sufficient. So I don't care what they're telling you. We're working on something else now. Now that you got that down, we're working on this. And it's like, but why though? I'm dope. It's like, what? Oh my goodness. What? Like I said, they just don't understand. They don't even understand. And Josiah is so profound in all his craziness sometimes. He says some stuff and I'm like, I hope you remember you said that. This is a while back. He said, man, sometimes for us, we so far ahead, we behind. And I wish I could have recorded it because I'm like, that's it. That's really it. You're so far ahead, you're behind because you think you have the luxury of not working on other things or improving in other areas because of people telling you how well you've done or how smart you are and things like that. And it's like, you just don't understand. That's based on what they got going on, based on what their definition of like, you got it in the bag. That's not how the parenting happens in this household. And I'm letting you know, based on my experience and life wisdom, you're going to have to do a bit more to get what you want in life. The goals you set or the things that you desire to have, the quality of life you want to have. So that's a whole nother topic. I could go in so many different directions, but the kids will tell you what they want and then do opposite shit that don't line up with what they want. It's like, what are you doing?
The other thing that you that we both always laugh and shake our head about, not laugh in terms of thinking that it's funny, but laugh like this is not fair. It's like one of those things you said they won't understand until they have kids of their own, if they choose to do that, is when you win, you understand that you're gonna get the glory because you're the kid, you're the one in the limelight, and they be like, oh yeah, the parents did well with them. But every time you do something fucked up, guess who it falls on? Even in your grown adulthood,
the parent.
Boy, they must have had some bad parents or something, the way they running around here. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. When you take on the mantle of leadership in terms of parenting, you take on some of the credit and they get most of it. But when it goes bad, you get all of the credit for being
the unwanted credit.
Yeah, it's like, well, wait a minute, why it can't be half and half?
Yeah, they knew what to do. They didn't want to do that. They knew better.
Why couldn't be half and half on this? Oh, so we get some of the credit when it's glorious. We take on the whole burden of shit show. All right, bet. So to each his own on how people parent. I just choose to be all in, just like B chose to be all in. But I guess I can, to a degree, understand when they be like, hey, you on your own. I put a roof over your head. I made sure you ate. I made sure you had clothes, all that designer shit, all that stuff you want. Oh, you want to be a gamer? Oh, then you go pay for all that. Like, I guess in a sense that's why they do it, because it's like maybe in their mind they understand like at some point that's probably what happened is they take the burden of all the bad stuff, but some of the good. And then at the same time, it's like maybe it's their upbringing and it was like, well, they ain't do that for me. So it's just different ways or different reasons why parents choose to do it differently. But whatever strategy you choose, just know it's ever changing. Ultimately, the goal has always been to make sure that you were happy and whatever you wanted to do, you were able to do it and you were self-fulfilled. That's always been my goal. The ups and downs, the roller coasters, the twists and turns, and the learning curves, they all there. You know, as you get older, you start to realize as a parent too how much you have to balance what you said earlier about, well, what about me? I do have a life. Didn't you say like a couple months ago, one of them said, dang, Mom, it just hit me. I didn't even think you are human. Like all this time we just made you like mom. But I just had the self-realization that you are human. Aside from you being our parent, you are a human and you do have goals and you do have dreams of things you want to do. And it's almost like you gave them up once you decided to do this, but you didn't. It's just that you poured more into them, and it can feel like that if you don't balance it the right way.
I would never say I sacrificed everything for you, because that's not it.
That's
My
not
thing
what
is
we
they
were
just
saying.
will never understand parenting until they do it. And again, like they may not even do it the same way that you did it.
No, because
So
they
it's
got
just
their own
like-
character or have their own character.
And they may choose to go a completely different route. I parented very differently than my mother. And I came up in a single parent household. And I did not want that for my children. No dig on her. But I just feel like it takes a village. But some people don't have a village. They don't have a grandmother. They're minus different people. So if you were fortunate enough to have a mother and father, you winning. Now the extras, aunts, uncles, cousins, godfather, godmother, coaches, you know what I mean? Just different people that are becoming an intricate part of your life, and they have an interest in you winning. You are blessed beyond measure. Like, man, you're doing great. So it's never been about, I did this. It's just, as I get older, it's like, they just don't understand. They just don't. They just don't. And they may never understand. I'm making my peace with that. It's not even about getting you to understand this is wrong. It's like you said, he said this a million times. The kids will say something to us. Oh yeah, I was hanging with my friend or had a conversation the other day when I was in class. And it was really crazy because so-and-so told me that if I did this, I'm just making something up, I could really go a lot further. And you and I will look at each other and say, what the fuck? We told him that, or we told her that 2 years ago. And you're like, it doesn't matter how they got it. They got it. Don't even worry about it.
Yep.
And I've learned to accept that. But I'd be lying to you if I said my frustration with, you could have saved so much time if you would have just not just listened, like it fell upon deaf ears. You listened, but really took heed and implemented what we were saying to do. We're not here to take you off course or secretly praying for your downfall. Like, oh, we hope they do it so they can end up in a really bad way. No, when you win, it just feels so good. And parents want to crunch timetables for these kids. We want to see you do better than what we did in a shorter period of time. That's what's fulfilling. That's the reward. Like, yes. So, yeah, it's just, at this point, at the stage we're at now, we got one that'll be 21 on January 1st, and the other one's right behind him. Jair will be 20 in September. So the beauty in that, they jump in the cars and, and we hear Jair's speed race. She's a little race car, and Josiah, he goes and they're making decisions and they're meeting people, you know, in the world, and we have dialogue, and I think the communication is great. We can lend our 2 cents when asked, and sometimes depending on what I hear, I'm going to say, hey, I'm about to give my unsolicited advice or my unsolicited opinion, and I do that. That's just me, and you take it or leave it. No judgment. I just want you to have this. Let me drop that right there for you. You can leave it there. You can pick it up, put it in your pocket and use it when you need to. But overall, you know, I would say to any parent, single parent, step parent, 2-parent household, it's a job that you have to make peace with. Whatever the outcome, you did your best. As you say, Lou, I left it all on the field. Yeah. You have to really find peace in that. I'm still growing and learning to accept this. I haven't learned to accept it fully because sometimes I get caught up, but that is what I would say to any parent listening. You're going to have to just kind of I know I did my best. And what they do with that, almost like a relay, I pass the baton. If they drop it, I can't do anything. Because in a relay, you can't run up there and go pick it up and give it. That messes the whole race up. They got to figure it out. Or like you say, call an audible. They're already in the play. They got to figure it out. So just daily, just make your peace with that, because you will go crazy. You will lose it. You'll have these fallouts or these moments of frustration. Like I said, like they see the drawings where the head is, the brain is exploded. You'll find yourself feeling that way. And it's really not about you. If you've done everything that you can in a way that they are fully equipped, what else can you do?
Well, yeah, that is the goal of a parent, is not just to give you the knowledge and, oh yeah, they take it. No, you got to get to a point as a parent where you give that knowledge, like you said, and just be able to walk away from it and know that you did your best. A lot of times I think parents beat themselves up for kids making mistakes and, I should have did more. And when you really look at it, it ain't shit else you could have done. I mean, what you want to do? Jump in their body and make them make the decision? Like, it ain't nothing. Yeah, it ain't nothing you can do once that information is given. Like, they either gonna listen to you or you not, and that's it. There's a big difference between being able to stop the kids when they're 7 and 8 years old from running in the street, or even younger than that. It's like, don't run in the street. You can grab them and control them. They get older, like, you can't control that.
No.
Like, it's funny with certain situations where we always tell them, like, if you was in college right now, I couldn't even tell you what you was doing. I can only give you advice and you would be on a campus doing whatever you chose to do. Mm-hmm. So I try to do the same thing. I mean, obviously it's a little harder when we're all in the same house because you get to see it. The difference is if your kids go off to college, you can't see half the ignorant shit they do or some of the great things that they do because you're not there to see them. You're like, dang, that's good. You will only know if they told you.
Right.
But if you have your kids at home, you're seeing what's being done and you telling them the advice. So you getting hit with a double whammy. So if they don't do it, it's like, I'm watching you. And I told you not to do that shit. So it's the interesting thing to see that when you're giving advice and it's not being taken, or it does. So yeah, you just have to learn how to walk away once you gave it and feel good about it, whatever the outcome is, because you have to know in your spirit there is nothing you could have done. The only grave injustice you could have done is if you never said nothing at all and you knew you should have said something, or you could have gave better advice or whatever. But if you did that, man, walk away.
I know we touched on it a little bit, just taking it back a little bit. Moms parenting versus dads. I've seen more, you hear more as you're growing up and you're kind of listening to other parents. It's like, dads are a little more lax. They can give the look and kids know, or the mom is nervous about everything. But there may be some
nervous about everything.
No, but sometimes where I can't take myself out of it and you're like, why are you even entertaining that? Why are you still going off about that? Leave that alone. You're able to say what you're going to say. And you said it. I already told them. It's up to them now. And for me, it would be like, I told, him or her, and I don't understand why they did it. I'll go on a 20, 30-minute rant, stop, then start back up again. And then if I see them, I just want to say, now, why would you? And you're like, why are you spending all this time on that?
Energy.
It's done. What's done is done. So I'm saying all that to say, in the dynamics of the parenting, if you have mother-father dynamic, or, just two parents, whichever parent has that dynamic, listen to them. Listen. For me, most of the time, I think even when I told you to, just walk away, it's something where I've seen that, and it's still not the same to me as when I'm just going on and on. You've never had like a 3-hour or 2-day stint where you doubling back, still talking about something. That's me. That's not you. That dynamic is there. And that's why I have a heart too.
I think it's good to have it that way. I think if we were both the same, it would be horrible.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's great. And that's why I have a heart for having been a single parent and having the dynamic now of 2-parent household. single parents are wearing multiple hats. I'm hoping that they have some outsourced help, godparent, an auntie, an uncle, a grandmother, that they can get some of that balance from, because you're not supposed to do this thing alone. You're not. It's crazy if you're trying to do this by yourself. If someone else is there, the dynamic gives it the balance when you're not going in and I'm going in, or you pull me out or I pull you out. It's anchored. It's built for two, and I said earlier, it's really a village.
Oh, did we look at David Arnold when he was talking about tag me in, baby? Tag me in.
Yeah.
Tag out. You done. Tag out.
Yeah, it's built for two. This is not a one-man thing, and the more the merrier, in a sense, if they can assist in some capacity. Now, don't come in with no, well, Uncle so-and-so said, it's like, what? Now I got to do more damage control because your uncle's crazy. So with all of that, for my single parents, I'm praying for you, because I know what that's like. And if you are really in there, and I mean in it, parenting full time, you're not doing the bare minimum, you probably are giving a lot of time away that you should be dedicating to yourself in some areas, if I'm saying that right. You're probably depleted, and
I think so, because the breaks you were supposed to have, you don't have them because there's nobody else there.
Man, and that's why you hear stories like, thanks to the Boys and Girls Club, thanks to the Dream Center, they're shouting these places out where their kids were able to go for camp and for after school and things like that. And those are great places to have when they've been able to assist you, where you can do some things for yourself or pursue some of your goals or things you're passionate about. So respect that dynamic too, the balance. It may not be a two-parent dynamic. It may be the assistance of a distant relative, a godparent or something, if you have those. And if not, just hold on and just make peace with, they don't understand. They may never understand. It's not about that. It's about just doing your best. Okay, I did it. I did that, and have peace with it. I'll just keep going over and over that, because I'm still back to, they're not gonna never get it, huh? And that's crazy, because you want them to.
Yeah,
but
I've said it several times. Either they'll get it or they won't. I added the won't a couple years later. I used to always say they'll get it, but I've grown my optimism, I think, tenfold since getting with this bright light over here. But I also still have that piece in me that's like, okay, I understand. I can't be so crazy to the point where I just keep believing so blindly if you're showing me that you're not getting it right now. So there are things that your kids will get, and then there's some things that you just got to live with that they won't. So that's my phrase. Yeah, they'll get it or they won't, but either way, they gonna get something.
I'm so bad. In all my optimism, I'm like, just make peace with they won't and move on. Okay? Because if you have a timetable or you feel like they gonna get it, you'll be frustrated every time.
That was key right there. If I didn't get nothing new, I got that right now from you literally just now. Don't have a timetable on when they're gonna get it, if they ever get it, because you will be pulling out your hair or you won't have none.
I'm at peace with if they never get it. I did my best. That's what I'm making my peace with it daily. I haven't fully gotten it. It's just every day. It's like a daily affirmation. I'm making my peace with
it. That's not an easy thing, man. It's not. So.
Yeah. But it is what it is. It is what it is.
Well, guess I'll be up here again.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy. Well, I hope that you guys have some enlightening takeaways from this. This topic was dear to my heart. I mean, all of them are great conversations to have, and it's obviously something that I thought about, or we have said, hey, what do you think about this? We just threw it out there and started talking about it. But this is like, wow, because I'm in it, in the thick of it. Yeah. We want to keep this conversation going. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or suggested topics you'd like to hear us discuss, you can always shoot us an email at realfitradio@gmail.com. Our podcast drops every Monday. You can catch a snippet of the latest one on our Instagram at realfitradio. If you're not following us, you definitely should be. As always, we hope this inspires, impacted, or empowered someone. Until next time.